Hand washing method, part 1. I have a product that I will be ordering soon. It's a kind of plunger device for washing your clothes by hand, regular wash method, not just delicates and hand wash things that you don't want to use a industrial or automatic washing machine for. This is actually a sort of a do-it-yourself survivalist concept where that you could either, if you don't have a lot of heavy loads, like you're not doing construction work or working pottery and stuff like that, where you really, really need the industrial strength of a washing machine, but you're just, wearing your clothes around the day, around the office, or the product that I'm going to buy is also advertised as something you may take with you on a camping trip, or if you have overnight stays on business trips and motels, you want to do your laundry by hand. Now, without buying this product, I did some research on the web and found that a lot of people use a similar method, except instead of buying this particular product, which you'll see in the second part of the demonstration, the first part of the demonstration is before I've got the product. How would I do it without that product? Using 2 buckets and a regular and sanitary, because it's never been used for anything, hand plunger. Got a bucket of warm water here, semi-warm, not very warm, because I'm going to be washing colors. It's not bright colors, they're dark colors. And then cold water for the rinse. And I'll be replacing the rinse water at least one more time before the product is done, or before the demonstration is done. And I'm going to add some soap to the water. Make sure I get all the soap that I measured out. I'm also going to put some laundry booster in there because I like to. Now that's plenty of soap and booster. I'm only washing 2 items at a time. Say, for instance, this were the pants that I wore yesterday. They're not terribly dirty. There's a couple of spots of dirt there. That might be something, or it could be my wet hand, I don't know. And here's a spot of dirt. I don't know if you can see it right there. I don't know if that's dirt or the threading of the pants starting to come through. Okay, but we'll put those in there. I'm also going to wash this gray t-shirt, which itself is not terribly dirty. There is something there, if you can see that. So we'll keep that in mind after it's dry to look for it. Something right there on the collar, if you can see between my fingers there. I think that, I don't know what that is. Okay. Now, I like to use a timer because I might forget about the timing. So I'm going to set my timer. I let the clothes soak first. After a little bit of agitation, get some soap stuff going on in there. Now, what I have read is that it's recommended you soak 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how much laundry you're doing. I'm only going to let it soak for 15 minutes because it's only 2 pieces of clothing, 2 items. So I'll set my timer for 15 minutes. And we'll be back. No. No. Okay, now for 5 minutes we'll agitate using the plunger. Just the regular standard plunger. I would assume it's a good idea to make sure it's a new plunger, never used on anything nasty. Don't know if you can see it from there yet, but the water is showing dirt as well as, of course, the soap. Now this plunger is, of course, obviously pushing water through the clothing and pulling some water out of the clothing, or through it again, that is. The mobile washer device that I'm going to be purchasing from Amazon.com is designed somewhat like a plunger. I'll show it to you, of course, when I get it. It has a sort of a filter grate over it and holes on the top, or some sort of ventilation method so that it does better at pushing water through and sucking water through it. So the theory of that product is that it's supposed to do a much better job than this, but this is a job that on a lot of green consciousness sites and do-it-yourself sites, camping sites, websites that is, they talk about using this method. So that's why I've decided to use this method for this load of laundry, to compare it when the product comes. And more than likely, I'll be using it on the same items. I can't imagine, though, the same areas of dirt would be involved. Now, wring out the clothing. For about $60 or $70, you can buy this little electric spin drying device. that I would use instead if I had it. I think it's about the size of these buckets. One of my problems in life is cat hair. And tell you, that little stain on the collar, good thing I was aware of it because I had to just brush it off. But it didn't take much to do that. As you can see, doesn't appear to be there anymore. All in all, except for the cat hair that just seems to gravitate towards anything in this house. Pretty good. Yeah. And no, he didn't put the cat hair in there just now when he walked by. Remember where there might have been spots, maybe that, what is that? No, that's cat hair. Okay, put it in the rinse water. And then after this, I'll wring them out and hang dry. Now here are the results. Here are the pants. Of course, they are wrinkly. They will need to be pressed, but turns out, yeah, that's cat hair. This area that I was looking at earlier, before washing, is because it's threadbare slightly right there. Apparently, I caught a little snag. But otherwise, I caught a snag when I was hiking or something. The pants are clean. They smell laundry fresh. Yeah, they definitely smell mildly like they've been using laundry soap. When they come out of a hot dryer, they smell more impressive than that. The shirt, turns out, once I got it dry, is also clean. Well, smells fresh, and that's important. This spot here that I pointed out, turns out now that it's dry and I see the shirt in its full glory, that spot has been there for a long time. So expecting it to come out was not fair to the trial run of using a plunger, a cheap $6 plunger, to do your laundry with. And on top of that, just to let you know, I only showed you doing those pieces. I did also have, hanging over here, another shirt that I had washed. I had washed these before making the video and thought after I had made the video, oh, I should make the video. Since I would like to show you when I do get my other product that it is accomplished and how good or bad the mobile washer or rapid washer, whatever you want to call it, is. Whoa, blurry. Focus. Okay, there you go. So, I cleaned my sweats, and they smell good. Yeah, they're clean. And these other shirts, as well as a pair of socks, which I've already put away. And that I did those in 2 separate loads, all of these. First that load, then the load I showed you. And just a couple of tablespoons of laundry soap in the process, some elbow grease, and it came out just as good as going to the laundromat. I mean, if you went to the laundromat, I think it would smell a little fresher because the heat applied by the dryer, and you'd get them done a lot quicker as far as drying goes. Okay, my breathing mobile washer, hand-operated clothes washer, arrived today. So for the unboxing, take 2. I wasn't recording after all the first time, so I've already got it untaped. And it comes with 4 parts as well as instructions. The assembly is simple. Simply align and stack the pieces together, insert the handle, and turn the handle until all pieces are secured tightly. And then it gives you just directions for washing your clothes. 4 to 6 inches of water. This allows for best pushing and pulling action, so we'll make sure to keep in mind how much water we're putting in the buckets. 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of detergent. You can also use bleach and softener if you want to. It recommends that if you have heavily soiled items to scrub them with soap first and then wash them, and you may have to wash them more than one time. You get 4 items total to put together to make one. This is the agitator. This is the main cone, the breather. And this is the splash guard, which goes on top there. This allows air to go into the breather when pulling up, and water to come out without splashing when pushing down. And then you have a nice long handle with a universal thread piece at the end. It's universal thread, which means it'll fit just about anything. Seems to have multiple threading options. So put it in here. Now, from what I've read on user reviews, make sure to hold the big part of the cone when threading. Don't hold the little splash guard when threading, as people seem to do, because you need to make sure it's really tight, because if you don't do it this way, it is said that when plunging, it will loosen. So make it nice and tight. I'm told that if that's not tight enough, you can get plumber's tape and put that around the universal threading and then put it in there, insert it in there and tighten it, and that should make it even tighter. Or, barring that, you can use toothpaste around the thread and let it sit overnight, and that will harden, just like your toothpaste caps do when you try to get them open again. Well, anyway, so this is the mobile washer, the breathing mobile washer, which for all intents and purposes definitely looks like it's going to do a lot better than a regular bathroom plunger. Okay, 6 inches of water each, and I'm going to soak the items first for 15 minutes in the wash. We're going to use as recommended, a half a tablespoon. Let's double check that. No, half a teaspoon. This is half a teaspoon, that's correct. So we're only going to use half a teaspoon of detergent. And I'm going to wash this gray shirt. This gray shirt has some chili on it from chili dogs I was eating the other day. And I didn't catch it until later, but I'll show you. If you can see it, there's the chili there, right there, and that's cat hair. We've talked about that. I don't know what that is. I'm going to treat that too with a little extra soap directly on it. And where's the chili? Okay, there it is. So, all in all, this turns out to be about a teaspoon total of soap that I've used. And I'm going to scrub those a little. Okay. Double check, make sure there's nothing. Well, I did miss another spot. So, not quite a half a teaspoon yet there. Put some soap on that. Okay, wash that after soaking it. Wow, it's much larger than the regular bathroom plunger, much larger. It fits with about 1.5 inches of diameter remaining inside the bucket, whereas the plunger, you could have probably fit another half a plunger in there. And I'm also going to wash my Nike hat, which after many weeks of wearing it during yard work, it's quite dirty from sweat and dirt. Not even white anymore. I don't know if that's going to be fixable or not. Not white anymore. In half of it anyway. The L and the F. Look very clearly at how much dirtier the L and the F is compared to the Nike. As you can see, the sweat comes from here when I'm working. Some of it does go this way. We're going to see if that'll come clean. I'm highly doubtful. Let's see, I'm going to do this for a few minutes before the soaking because I want to see how much suds. It does well, giving me suds for that little amount of soap. Okay, we'll be back after it soaks for 15 minutes. Okay, now the instructions say that only a few minutes should be all that is necessary of agitation to get the clothes clean. Like we learned with the plunger method, we're going to agitate for 5 minutes. bring out the soap water. Take a cursory look at where I knew my chili stains would be. And it's hard to tell for sure when it's wet, but it looks clean. The hat I don't have so much faith in, certainly not the white. Maybe I should have approached that individually. And we'll agitate that in the rinse for 5 minutes. Then hang dry all day long, and we'll see what they look like when they're dry. All right, because I'm impatient about it, I wanted to show the results before the drying is complete. This is not completely dry. I could walk half a mile wearing the shirt and then half a mile back home. It should be dry by then, if that's what I did. Don't want to do that. But as you can see, no chili. Now that, to me, is remarkable enough to justify the $19 purchase price for the breathing mobile washer. The hat, I'm not so confident in. I'll bring it and show you. This I don't know would dry by wearing it and walking around. The white on the Nike did not come out as white as I want it. It's still dark around here and dark around there. There's still some discoloration on the F for sure. Perhaps the L is clean. I can't tell. It's still very wet. Hard to tell when it's wet. I would like the whites to be white. As white as that is, which has always stayed safe, I think, from danger of dirt pulling plants out of the ground and creating dust storms while sweating a storm. But mostly, if the hat itself comes out clean when it's dry, I'll be very happy. I'll be happier than I expected. This will be the third time I've hand washed this hat. Once by hand in the sink. Didn't really help. Once with the plunger. Not on video, but I've been using the plunger while waiting for this because I liked what I was able to do with the plunger. But I really like, now the main message is, I really like what the breathing mobile washer does for $19. Now for $20, depending on where you buy it, you can buy it for $14, but all in all, with shipping and everything, probably going to come out to about the same somewhere. Let's just call it $25. You can save, if you're a single individual like me, $35 to $40 a month by not having to go to the laundromat. Plus, the amount of soap that I used was remarkably small for the results that I got. And I could have washed another 4 items, I imagine. Anyway, I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely worth buying.